primary control of critical functions.
Oh my, it's that time. I can hear by the sound of the gentle sound of the air raid sirens in the background. It makes us, yes, it's time to jump up and down and scream and yell and wish that it were Friday, but it's not. It's Thursday and it's close enough, and it's Wild and Weird Radio Live. I am Ron. That is Joe.
What's going on?
We have a whole bunch of wild and weirdos and weirdettes over there in Wild and Weird Radio Land just chiming in. So let's get them welcomed in, Joseph.
So far, we got 2 people kicking this door in, by the way. We've got LW Marshall dropping in first with a donation. Thank you, good sir. Help me retrieve my week. Right? This week has seemed to go like wildfire.
Get them up there.
And then Nancy White right behind.
Nancy, right there.
Right behind. Thank you. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of y'all that help keep the lights on here at Wild and Weird Radio. You guys are fantastic.
Rocking and rolling.
Speaking of those folks, we've got Gary Schuler here in the house, Kenny Hess, Dances with Orbs, Jen's in the house. We've got Ada Cox hanging out with us tonight. What's going on? Great. Jordan Booker was early. Look at you, Jordan. You were in the house before the show started. You're really dialing in here. It's Power Band Sasquatch is in the house.
Hey y'all.
We've got the Miss Trackway in the house. Howdy, dude, Miss Trackway. LR Miller's in the house. Linda Sigmund is here. And let's see. ovuuru, hello, right back at you. Then we've got who else? Thinking Terri McCullough. What's going on, Terri? Good to see you out here. Octopus with a few friends. What's going on? Then we got Beth hanging out there. Beth actually found one of the best in the wild deer skulls this week. It was super clean, gorgeous, and pristine white. She really needs to keep it. It's awesome. EyesintheWoods is in the house. What's going on, Oz? We've got the Watcher Files. What is up, Brianne? Good to see you. Vincent Ellison, how are you? Donna's in the house. How's it going, Donna? Then we got Tony Breeden.
He's out there.
Going on, Tony. Trackway, Mr. Trackway.
The other Trackway.
Then we've got, you guys, LR Miller, $5. Thank you, sir.
There's LR. Look at that. You guys you're doing it. You're doing it.
You are. You're kicking the door down. And
well,
you guys
let me tell you what. Before you do this, last week we set your goal at 10. You hit it. So you're going to get the very first exclusive, never before seen look at the next episode of Paranormal Horizons. That is going to definitely change things. Okay. But here's the kicker. You guys hit it tonight. I'm going to show you something very, very, very cool. Very, very, very cool.
It don't get much cooler than this, though.
Nah, Joe, it's cooler. It's cooler.
Oh, they took away that function. I'm sad now.
What function? What are you talking about?
It used to let me double click up in the header. See how the heads, that faces pop up top?
Yeah.
It used to let me double click those and just bring them up.
I got you.
Now I can't do that. But Gary Schuler, thank you, good sir.
Multiple thank yous.
You guys are absolutely.
The Sky
Tony
jellies are
Greenman, the demons made me
2112. That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Oh, thanks, Tony. We appreciate you, brother. Up comes
Thank you.
Cure. Dances with
Oh my
Orbs
God,
right
you
behind
guys
him.
are-
Thank you,
You guys
Dances.
are great.
We love you.
Folks,
And
if you're
Ada
new,
Cox,
oh,
Ada Cox, this
the
one's
owls.
for you.
The owls. One more.
Where did the
Nice.
wild and weird thank you go?
It may have had to be pulled down for tonight's special amount of clips. So
Okay, well, here we go. Oz. Thank you, Oz.
yes, absolutely. Thank you all. Multiple. That is
Now that
still
we're
one of my.
done handing out the
That's one of my
blessings,
favorite ones right
Barbara.
there. That orb things is still one of my favorite ones. Thank you guys so much. You're literally one away, and we know we'll hit it before the end of the show. So
We've hit 10.
multiple. No, we haven't. We've hit
Look
9.
inside the chat. We've
9.
hit 10.
9 out of 10. It keeps count up there in YouTube.
That somebody hit it before we hit the thing.
Oh, you think? You think?
I know. StreamYard keeps track.
It's only showing 9. Huh, that's weird. No, either way,
10,
you got
baby.
it.
We hit it. The golden number has been met. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
Every one of you are amazing.
Yep. So anyway, you bought your really cool clip, and we'll be showing it here later on in the episode as well as other things. So stay tuned because that's going to be really cool. You're going to love it. Do we need to RV or RSVP, et cetera, do we need to let you know we're coming to the Strangers Collective event? It's nice if we know, if you just click on the event thing, and because it is a potluck. So
it's a potluck, and we'll also know how many chairs to pull out.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but it kind of helps us. So yeah, it would be cool if you would, but there's no tickets, anything like that. So no, you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff, guys.
Like
It's just,
ultimately, as long as we have a rough general idea of those of you who plan on coming 48 hours prior, just so we can plan for seating arrangements and whatnot, we're set.
Oh, it'll be fun. Yeah. I'm not concerned. I know we have the space. I know we've got, tables. We're good. We just, it would be good to know, like I said, if we have what everybody's bringing as far as it goes with food and so forth, because it's a party. I mean, you're gonna learn stuff. It's gonna be fun, but this is a party, guys. Let's be real. It's what it is. We've been trying to get this thing off the ground for years, and here it is. We finally did it. This is the first one. This is history. This is not going to be like any of the other things you've probably ever done. This is kind of like a cross between a workshop and a What do you think, Joe? Like a mini convention kind of
Yeah, it's
presentation
gonna be
type,
like
right?
Wild and Baby Wild and Weird Con without
Yeah.
vendors.
Yeah, without vendors. Yeah, Baby Wild Recon without vendors. But you know what? There will be one vendor there. We're going to bring something that you guys are going to get to see in the next couple of episodes of
Yep.
Paranormal Horizons, and you're going to be able to buy you one if you want one. It's that poster that I did. We of course made it digitally, and then it's real. It's physical now too. So it's printed out, and we'll have that available. So and yeah, you can go home with one of those and then chase down Mothman. You have a map, tells you where he's at. It's great. Good stuff.
Octopus said it was a conspiracy to commit patronage.
It worked. It worked. But no, you guys are great. And it's really cool to be able to do this. And like I said, it's something we've always wanted to do. The idea was always to put the data on the table. And we can put all the data in the world on the table, but if nobody's looking at it, who cares? So the idea there would be to get people to come look at it. And then once they see something, you know exactly as well as I do. We've seen it here. It's contagious. So when you have somebody who sees this, right, and they're like, oh, you know what? I saw something exactly like that. I never told anyone. Well, now you can.
And, it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited to have everybody together to do this and do some data review.
This is going to be amazing.
Go over some stuff, show you firsthand some of the things that you guys have helped us do. The executive producer, Adam Good, is in the house. What is going on, Adam Good?
Don't you think that it's going to be cool just to be able to get ideas as far as it goes with people, right? I'm frozen. I don't want to.
Absolutely. You are frozen.
That's
Oh,
weird.
there you're back. You're back.
Anyway, it's going to be good because
said I'm coming from Kentucky. I'll bring the bourbon.
you know what? Whatever. Here's the thing. What's really cool about it is we'll be able to get their take on this. Like they become part of the solution, so to speak, right?
Oh, absolutely. Beth, the day
again.
Yep, she's asked for the day again. There we go. It's splashed up on the screen, March the 29th, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. That is a Saturday. We're just going to hang out and have a good time. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's inside. It's nice. It's good. It's
climate controlled.
Fun. Yep. It's going to be super fun. You're going to love it. And then what we're going to do at the end of the night, hopefully, as long as weather permits, well, even if not, you're going to see it. But if weather permits, exactly.
How it works and how the functions are.
Yeah. But we're going to take the Mana system out and let you guys have a look at the sky and see how that thing's going to work. And it's going to be super fun.
And a few of the other possibilities and different modularities that it can do.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. So you're gonna get to see some really cool stuff, and hey, look at there.
Thank you, Adam, the executive producer. Good.
So yeah, everybody figure out what you want to bring for the potluck. Like I said, nothing, you don't have to bring anything extravagant, anything like that. I hear there's going to be bacon at some point. If there's not, we're done. I'm not having any more of these. I might even just cancel the show. Because you've been screaming bacon for a year now, and this is your chance to show
Trackway asks, so they're going to be tanning beds? No, but there may be UAPs that kind of act in the same way.
It could happen. And we're not responsible. Just to let you know, if you get zapped by UAP, that's when you initiated that in here. We didn't do that. We told you not to chase the orbs. I mean, that's a disclaimer. It's a legal disclaimer too. Don't chase the orbs. Speaking of orbs,
and then real quick too, before we jump off that,
go ahead.
Depending on the potluck circumstances and how many people we have traveling from like farther away that don't really want to travel food or bring stuff, if you just want to bring desserts or something, that'd be fine. I'm thinking about the possibility of maybe putting together a taco bar. So if you guys want to chip in like $2 or something each, that would cover the expense, because taco bars are relatively inexpensive. And I could probably make a pretty
You know
decent.
what? You know what I
$2
say? No,
off.
guys, just here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do for you, Joe, for the whole thing, for everybody, for everybody's coming, because there's a few of you coming, right? It's a lot of tacos. Let's be real. It's a lot of tacos. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put the goals up next week, and it's gonna be for tacos.
Okay.
Tacos and bacon. But
I was
mostly,
saying we could do the goals next week, or we could use the ones that they poured in tonight.
oh, we can do that. We'll do both.
We
That
can
way
do
we'll have a
either one.
lot of tacos. We can have a lot of tacos, dude.
Yeah, and it'll be made to the RSVP count. So like if you
Let's
are
do
coming,
it.
do an RSVP on it, and
Yeah, let's do it.
and let us know.
Yes.
And I'll put together a taco bar.
Oh my God. Now I'm excited even more than I was. Will there be bacon at the taco bar?
Oh yeah, you can do bacon.
Okay. All right.
There's because that's the whole point. It's like a build your own taco. You
Right,
put
yeah.
whatever toppings you want. We can just put
Right.
crumbled bacon in there.
That's what I'm thinking right there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Think of it now, like crumbled bacon and
Oh
cheese.
my God.
Chicken taco. Yeah, money.
Dude, that's epic stuff right there. I'm happy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. I know all these people are tuning in like, well, I thought we were going to talk about UFOs and disclosure and spaceman and stuff. Well, we are, but we're talking about bacon right now, and that overrides all that stuff. So if you're not familiar with the show, yeah, well, probably not that, but definitely the bacon and the taco thing. Yeah.
Beth said we have to dye the shells green to make them radioactive.
There's a thought. There's a thought. So the other part of the news, we will be, where are we going? OBC, right? Being OBC?
OBC is our first stop. Yeah.
OBC is
OBC
the first
May
stop.
2nd is our first stop in Salt Fork,
Yes.
Ohio.
Yes. Going to be a lot of fun.
Word on the street is there are some travelers coming from afar that could show up at OBC as well. I've
Oh,
heard
those guys again.
Bigfoot.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot of people who see orbs and UAPs and see Bigfoot, so it kind of goes hand in hand.
I haven't heard from them. I haven't heard from them since I think Cargon phoned me there somewhere after Mothman, and he didn't remember what happened. He woke up,
The last thing I saw was that they were complaining about how we spotted their ship on their social media.
Oh
platform.
yeah, they did. They did do that. Yeah, they did do that.
They even put a red circle on the UAP. It's great.
Said they partied with some guy with really big hair. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. Whatever happened, happened. I mean, it stays there. It's kind of like whatever happened in Vegas is Vegas. Same thing with Zeta Reticuli.
Anita says, you want to make me dig out my hot bacon lavender salad dressing. That sounds delicious.
Man, you guys keep talking food. Just go ahead. Keep talking food. I warn you. So next we will be at after that I guess we'll be at the thing there in Nitro, right?
Yeah, it's that odd.
Here it is.
Project Odd. There we go.
There it is. Project Odd. And that's gonna be a fun one for us. It's literally in the backyard. I almost grew up in Nitro because that's where the band played for 20 some odd years. This is where we rehearsed and played, and it's second home. But it's going to be fun. They're going to have all kinds of weird stuff. They got UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, all this stuff, kind of like what we do, but they're doing it in a big street kind of thing. It's going to be fun. It's down there in the Nitro, the Memorial Park, really cool place. And they've got speakers. They got a panel that's going to be there. We made a presentation just for this event.
Yep.
Has not been seen before. So
it's a lot of first look data.
A lot of first look data, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely be there. Stay up to date with what's going on as far as it goes. Just I think Nitro Antique Mall is the one who's sponsoring it. I don't know who's actually putting it on, but they're sponsoring it. And you can go to their page and keep up with any new and things. But we'll let you know if something really cool is happening too. So just keep watching us as well. Anyway, I think that's everything. So Joe.
Oh, Tony said he's going to be at Project Odd too.
Well, there you go. Tony's going to be at Project Odd. We have had some interesting news developments, shall we say? Developments, yes.
Yeah, developments. What's what we'll call it?
Developments. For years, there has been this mumbling, thanks to Dennis back in the day, who came out and said, "Look, I worked at Area 51 on these saucers, you know, these alien spacecraft, etc. Whatever you want to call them, UFOs." And everyone said, "I'm sure you did," you know. But more importantly, now we're actually hearing the stories that there may actually have been these crash retrieval programs that they are now referring to as legacy programs.
Yep.
And there may be some very, very real truth behind all of this stuff. What sounded like science fiction to a lot of people is starting to kind of come out, and it sounds, I don't know. I don't know if we should be afraid of this or if we should be like embracing it at this point. But there's something going on, and it's not new. Like, here's the thing: everybody's hearing about it now. But what's getting ready to happen, Joe, is they're going to really hear about it after this weekend, if I'm right. And that's what the theory is, that at the film festival, the South by Southwest Film Festival, they're going to, I think it's in Texas, they're going to reveal this movie that everyone's been talking about. That's secret.
Have you also seen some of the other stuff that's going to be at South by Southwest? By chance?
No.
The CIA is releasing a documentary.
No.
Yes.
No, they're not. No.
I promise you, they're going
I'm
to be
putting
there.
my fingers in my ears.
I promise.
What are they doing? What?
The CIA is that, because when I was looking up into this and looking into South by Southwest, and it's got a very, very strange name.
It's called Not Disclosure. Nothing to see here.
The South by Southwest lineup has it called creative problem solving. And
that's the same thing.
Yeah, right. Like waterboarding techniques. I guess I don't know. Well, I guess I'm assuming that's just what they're going to be showing, because it's creative problem solving techniques is the name of the documentary, or creative problem solving.
That's probably what
we in the military, we called a certain thing problem solving, and I've got a feeling it's probably the same stuff, and I'm really curious to see what this is going to be, but it strikes me as very odd.
Yeah.
This disclosure documentary is happening at South by Southwest. Dude. And then a late entry to the party is the CIA documentary called Creative Problem Solving,
which is very interesting to me because for those who don't know, you know, this thing's been filmed. It's past 2 years. They got some big names. I will get the link to the trailer. I suggest you watch it. It's mind blowing. But here's a little bit about it. It is Dan Farah. That's who it is. He's also worked on some of the other more important things that have to do with disclosure, including helping get Lou's book out there. He's working with another one, Jay Stratton, who is also in this. And he worked with James Fox with The Phenomena, which I think The Phenomena is one of the best UFO documentaries that has ever been made. That's just my opinion, but I do think that it is one of those. This thing is supposed to be a revolutionary film, however. Some of the quotes are pretty crazy. If you read some of those, you'll understand.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them being, I hope that I made a film that makes the public aware of a very serious situation that impacts us all, Farah says. I had multiple senators tell me that they thought my documentary would be one of the most effective tools for helping make the public aware of the truth in a way that could get the rest of the government to take this topic more seriously. Yeah. And we'll talk about how that's actually happened before in the past here just in a little bit. But I'm gonna let you look at some of these questions and answers that they did in this interview, which I thought was interesting. Let's see. This is how he was able to get so many people to come on. I'm gonna have a link to this for you too. Actually there is a link. It's in the comments section, I believe. If not, I'll go back and check it. Because there was an issue with this episode. I just want to let you guys know.
there was an issue with this episode in which I had to delete it 2 times to get it back up. First time it wouldn't go up. Second time it went up, but when I clicked on the YouTube, go to YouTube Studio, there was nothing there. So I had to delete it right before the show and make an all new link to it. And that's what's over on our page as well. I changed that link as well. So it's very interesting how that went down. But there you go, Joe. Read that little clip it there at the top of that.
It says, were you nervous about making this? Did you take any secretive steps while filming? There are people who want the topic to continue to be kept from the public entirely. So went to great lengths in this film to make this documentary in secret over the last 2.5 years. I kept it very under the radar, and everyone working on it was under NDAs. Not everyone I talked to ended up being in the film. There were a number of government and intelligence officials who ultimately decided it wasn't in their best interest to participate. Certain officials were afraid of the historical stigma around the topic and how it might impact their reputation.
Yep. Exactly. And there were probably some other things that happened as well, right? Like this, for example.
Were any of your sources threatened for their participation? Yes, some of them were told very clearly there will be consequences for them and that they would be in danger if they participated in not only my documentary, but any documentary. But while my interview subjects want to see the truth be brought to the public, they also 100% agreed that there are a lot of elements in this topic that should remain classified and should never be made public because it's in the best interests of national security. My guess, personally, is that those are going to be, I don't know, the illegal stuff. And anyway, he says, now that I've learned about the landscape, I agree with that. But there are these fundamental facts that we are not alone in the universe, that everyone feels like the public has the right to know. And it's also in our best interest to make known so that there is no longer this antiquated, unjust stigma that is making the country fall behind in how seriously this topic is taken.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, this was started 2 years ago. Now, we've seen a massive shift since 2 years ago. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We started our project a little bit over a year ago.
Yeah, a little over a year ago.
Yeah, and we've seen a massive shift as well. So, again, we're all ending up in this weird same little path, aren't we? It's just some of the weirdest stuff, dude. It's weird. But, yeah, here's an interesting quote, right?
Yeah, there's a scene in the documentary that I find especially impactful, where Secretary of State Marco Rubio talks about how a lack of imagination has historically led to all of the greatest intelligence failures and disasters, from Pearl Harbor to 9/11, and that he doesn't want it to happen again. He says in the film, we've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours. And we don't know whose it is. That alone deserves inquiry. It deserves attention, and it deserves focus. Where have we almost heard those words said verbatim before?
I mean, this is very much, yeah, it's this is crazy. This is wild.
Well, Schumer has aggressively fought for disclosure on the UAP topic. Most people don't know that for the last 2 years in a row, Schumer and Senator Mike Rounds co-sponsored the UAP Disclosure Act, which then Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand also endorsed. The act had very specific language to try and use the law to bring disclosure. Schumer literally included a quote saying, the American public has a right to learn about technologies of unknown origins, non-human intelligence, and unexplainable phenomena. This is very specific language. When you read it, to any average person would say to themselves, oh my God, this is real. Yes, it is real. Just, your audio's gone. But just the wording in that bill by itself,
what you said,
that right there is dang near disclosure enough that we needed. Like if anybody was looking for the capital D disclosure, it was right there in the name of that bill, because there is nobody who knows the Skunk Works projects better than Schumer.
Yeah. So the thing is, we're hearing these top officials say this stuff, Joe. These aren't just you and me's and podcasters and, researchers, even for that matter. These are the guys who have had their hands on the material, near the material. The legend is there's 20 some people in the world who know the full truth about this. Well, I will guarantee you he had at least a couple in that. And these are the people who are coming out and saying, this is real. These are real things. And the warnings are very interesting to me. Let's see. What's the other one? Here's this is going to be good, because you read this part right here where you said the films change things, right? Yeah. So the idea is to use this film to kickstart a discussion to change the future. Well, this has happened before, and it happened with a very serious topic. And I was kind of talking to you about this earlier. And here's the proof of that. Anyone who remembers this, how many of you guys watched this movie, by the way, the day after? Because I know a lot of the Xers out there, you've seen this movie, and I guarantee you remember it very well. But I don't know if you knew how this movie changed the course of history, which is very also interesting. It actually helped end the Cold War, because it got this momentum going, right? This conversation started up, and here you go.
In November of 1983, the U.S., Soviet Union, and the rest of the world were teetering closer than ever on the edge of nuclear war. A NATO military exercise had spooked the Soviets, who thought the exercise was merely a cover for a real nuclear strike on the USSR, prompting them to ready their own nuclear forces. Who knew then that an ABC movie of the week would play a significant role in potentially preventing nuclear war? The day after, a two-hour epic following a few weeks in the lives of small-town Midwesterners before and after a nuclear strike, was one of the most controversial and most watched TV movies when it aired November 20th of 1983.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it, though, was that we're going to read that. The thing about it was that he at the time was, trying to figure out this way to one up and win the Cold War. You can't win a Cold War. It's not possible. You don't win a Cold War. It turns into a hot war. That's what happens. You have to figure out a way to sit at a table. That's what happens. And this is one of the things, this was the catalyst that brought him to the table and got people to really talk about it. So before The Day After aired, Reagan's policy involved investing even more in the U.S. defense, including the missile shield. You guys remember that, right? SDI proposed to protect the U.S. from a Soviet attack. But scaling up defense only heightened tension with the Soviets, who viewed Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative as a threat to their own security. On October 10th, while at Camp David, Reagan watched The Day After, weeks before it would air on TV. The film, he wrote in his diary, left him greatly depressed. Now, whether it will be of help to the anti-nukes or not, I can't say, Reagan wrote on the film's potential impact on the disarmament supporters. My own reaction was one of our having to do all we can to have a deterrent and to see there is never a nuclear war. So in 1984, State of Union address, which came 2 months after The Day After aired, Reagan finally committed to preventing nuclear war rather than tease scenarios of survivability. To preserve our civilization in this modern age, a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. 3 years later, Reagan would sign the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, which saw the U.S. commit to reducing its arsenal of nuclear arms. Because a filmmaker made a movie a very controversial movie, kind of like this one. And it changed the course of history. Now, can we do that with this?
For it to change the course of history in the way that The Day After did, we're not just talking about simple interviews. There's got to be more than just simple interviews.
Right.
You got to give me something.
Right. We knew, right?
Yeah. We've heard these interviews. We might not have heard these people, but we've probably heard the same words that they're going to say in this documentary hundreds of times in various documentaries over the last 40 years.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Joe, we've been told this for years. Let's go to 2023. First of all, I got some clips here. You guys, remember how many of you guys have been to any of our presentations where, one of the things I always say is that UFO history is nonlinear.
Yeah.
It is nonlinear because we'll learn something today that'll make something we heard 10 years ago make sense. That's how this works.
Tony says The Day After made me realize the duck under your desk and cover your head drills were a school placebo.
Well, they were.
They weren't necessarily a placebo. What they actually were was a way to easily find the bodies.
Well, I mean, if there was bodies, it depends on how close you were to ground zero. I guess,
right. It depends on how close you were.
Let's be real.
But
what it did really, Joe, was I'm not going to turn this into a Cold War show, but what it did was it gave people hope. It gave them the thought that we can survive. Because if you don't have that thought of we can survive, you're not going to get up and go to work the next day. Everything's going to stop. So they had to believe this lie. And it worked. I mean, for right or wrong, it worked.
Yeah.
So here's
Terry said my uncle worked on the reflector mirrors for the SDI laser satellite system.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
Star Wars. Yeah. There was a lot to that program. So much to that program. And if you think that they scrapped that, you're crazy.
Well, no, I mean, you can just look at what was announced last night with the Golden Dome.
Yeah.
It's essentially
it's all
that
the same thing.
Modern technology.
It's all the same thing. They just change names.
You say it's a 90-year cover-up.
Just about, yeah.
90 years.
1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy. They recovered a partially intact vehicle.
It's long been known that the regime of dictator Benito Mussolini documented numerous UAP during this time. This internal memo from the Italian secret services includes crude drawings of the UAPs.
It's true. It's real. Yeah, that actually happened. The Italian government moved it to a secure air base in Italy for the rest of kind of the fascist regime until 1944, 1945. And, the Pope Pius XII back-channeled that.
So the Vatican was involved?
Yeah, and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up...
We ended up scooping it. There you go. He's told us that in 2023.
Yeah.
And then last year, he went on Joe Rogan, and he said a little bit more about it.
This was the first documented one that the United States had access to?
I can't get into if it was the first or not, but it was an early one.
Very early.
Yeah.
So it's almost 100 years ago.
Yes.
And so they take this thing and then they bring it where?
Yeah, I can't get into those.
Can't get into that.
No.
Okay. So they bring it somewhere in the United States. And was the attempt to try to back engineer this thing? Was the attempt to try to understand what it was?
Yeah, I mean, first of it, obviously, it's understanding the situation, right? What do we have our hands on? And like I've said in some other videos and stuff, we took the Manhattan Project secrecy and overlaid it on this issue because that secrecy worked well for atomic bomb developments and whatnots. And certainly this whole program in a nutshell, if I were to summarize the 90 plus years of history, it is a reverse engineering program to garner some kind of insight. And of course, not a lot of the things that we've learned from it are directly, ripped off the technology we found, but it has inspired other innovations that made its way into other U.S. classified programs over the year for national defense reasons, and it's a myriad of different things.
It sounds like a retrieval program to me. I mean, that's
100%.
That's a legacy program, right? I mean, we're talking about 100 years, guys. This is the thing about this. This isn't something that, they sold to us that, it crashed in 1947 because we can't talk about Roswell. But 1947 is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, 100%, because it goes so much farther back. Like if you listen to some of the stories that are told, and you particularly if you whether you ascribe to the ancient astronaut theory or not, if you've just watched the shows, you get a good UFO history.
Yeah.
And it goes way farther back than that. I wonder, it sometimes makes you wonder, thinking about it, like who were the first people to actually find one of these things, was crashed, and be like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do
We
know.
need to build a temple around this and hide it.
Well,
or enshrine it and worship it.
I mean, all those things are possible, and
Right.
it's very possible that those things did happen. I mean, that's a fact. So what, one of the reasons for this secrecy, this continued secrecy. Go ahead.
OctopusWITHATLEASTAFEWfriends says, but we haven't used the technology for anything useful for the human race as a whole. Only our greedy corporate owners, more or less, the greedy warmongers.
Oh, that's funny you said that.
So the reason for the secrecy exactly is what?
Feudalistic dominance, who can have both asymmetric technology for, it seems like, just fueling the war machine.
What did he say, Joe? What was that?
Something about fueling the war machine.
What war, Joe?
Well, I guess we could call it the UFO Cold War.
That's exactly what it is. And, the idea is to, again, is not to keep a Cold War cold. The idea is to cook it until it gets to a boiling point.
Yeah.
And then it turns to a hot war. So what these guys were doing, hello, Angie, what these guys were doing was allegedly at this point going out, getting this crashed material, right? Researching it, trying to figure out how to get it to work, and then trying to figure out how to weaponize it. And then that, of course, went into other more weird and bizarre territories as we're learning. What we got there?
Seth Womack says, I would love to see Grush and Lazar on the same podcast studio. I would too. That would be fun.
It would be something. It really would. But we're hearing these things about the legacy programs that are very strange, that play into some of these conspiracy theories over the years, and they start dusting it off a bit and making some of these things more plausible. I mean, it's true.
Tony says the UFO Cold War because space isn't warm, folks.
That's right. It's cold. It's freezing. It'll freeze you.
But no one can hear you shiver.
That's right. They can't. But the thing is, they've denied this over, forever, pretty much. This is nonsense. This doesn't exist. We don't have anything. Even when they came out and said, yeah, we had a program. Remember this? We covered this.
Yes.
And they said, yeah, we had a program to recover these craft and figure out what they did and all this, but we never got the craft. So that program never got off the ground. Well, why did you have a proposed program? Yeah. Why would you have a proposed program for something that doesn't exist? That doesn't make sense. Yet no one challenges it, and they just let it go. So we had, you notice that part where he kept saying, I can't tell you where it went.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good idea where it went. And if you guys watched last week's episode, I think you might know where it went to. There's
home on the range.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it ended up. So we had Barbara come out and tell his story about the egg, which everyone liked to make fun of because they don't know. And
well, the funny thing is,
strange.
Everybody likes to make fun of the egg, and they like to talk smack about the egg, but like every thermal target we've captured has kind of just
stop.
Look, what's that?
That's a bird. It's another bird.
What's
That's
that?
a moth. No, wait, that's not a bird or a moth. That is something moving very, very, very fast across this horizon. And it
As we
looks
like
like
to
a sphere.
say, it's moving at about Mach Jesus.
That is a term that you will hear in coming soon. Here's the thing. Stick around because you ain't seen nothing yet. And that's what
100%.
that's what we're going to show you here in a bit. You'll get to see it.
Not what I just showed you. You guys have seen
No.
that 1,000 times.
No, this has never been seen. This is
We just
unseen.
keep that one in the
Yeah.
backup clips because I mean, why not? It's
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
It's a great comparison.
But Barbara comes out and talks about picking up this crash retrieval and taking it over and to the range. And then we learned other more disturbing things about this, and that's how they got some of these craft. Now, there was always back in the day this theory that they were using some kind of weapon to take these things down. Yeah. And there were these two guys from I believe it was West Virginia several years ago who said that there's a good chance that during the Stargate program and during the psychic spy programs that they accidentally figured something out and that they were using human assets. I believe that's what the term was, as bait or some way to lure them into these areas. Now, that was all speculation. There was nothing that I had ever seen about that really. And then Barbara comes out and pretty much confirms that's exactly what they were doing. Well, what are the odds of that? And then what are the odds of us being able to kind of replicate that, taking, Adam out into the field? And like I said, you'll see here in a minute, you'll understand. But
Julie Bug, what's going on? Don't worry about being late. You're just in time.
No, you're just in time. The party's just getting started.
Way of the spook has arrived. Mock Jesus. Evening all. What a way to enter. That's when you came on. That's great.
That's great. That's good timing. What are the odds, Joe? What are the odds?
Great timing.
Yeah. What are the odds of that? But the thing is, we're learning more about these legacy programs, and the programs themselves sound just strange. We're talking about literally what, who was it we were talking about before? Stubelbein. Remember when he wanted to create the Earth First Battalion back in the 70s? That's the whole Psychic Warrior program. And they were like, nah, you can't do that. Of course, elements of that survived. That's what it sounds like. And his literal interpretation of this, later on was like, oh, they were going to create Jedi. Well, that's pretty much what they were doing, because what we're understanding now is they're taking kids and teaching these kids or these gifted children how to utilize these gifts.
Well, I mean, they were doing that even when I was in school. You had the Gateway program that was being ran in schools. Like it wasn't the Gateway program from Monroe Institute.
Right.
But they were say, I have a very strong feeling that they were testing kids for
it's possible
usability. I mean,
it's possible.
There were headsets that we wore and listened to things to see if we could hear them. There were certain sounds that they would have us do things during, and it was, then they would the sound isolation booths. Those were fun, where you had to sit in there and listen for. It was like a hearing test, but not really a hearing test. Yeah. And you had to tap out the pattern.
Yeah,
that one was fun.
It's hard to tell.
It was elementary school that they were doing this in, and it was the gifted program.
And it's hard to tell. It's just really hard to tell what. I mean, I'm sure if we look back into our past, we can all think of some really weird things that we did when we were in school. I remember a couple that almost seemed like they didn't happen, but they did. And I never understood what they were about. So maybe that was something to that. I don't know. Either way, I didn't play those games back then, so I don't care.
Says I had that sort of test done on me too. Holy crap. See, we're having this shared memory return.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. It's weird. There's things. But the thing to me is, what this guy says, and What we got there? Taking
Tony
kids
says
and
taking kids and teaching them to be Jedi sounds annoyingly similar to the Montauk Project, and obviously Stranger Things, which is based on Montauk.
again, we're finding that these elements of fiction have little elements of nonfiction in them. That lie sandwich, it runs deep, it kind of seems. Now, where did it come from? Is that just part of our, collective conscious creating this reality, so to speak? Or is somebody feeding somebody just a little bit of information here and there? What do you think? What does any of you think? Speak up, everybody. You're part of this conversation.
To me, it seems as if there are breadcrumbs left all along the way because someone somewhere wanted us to find out.
Yep. I'm with you on that. And do you think that someone is someone or something?
It's hard to tell.
Not enough data.
There's not enough data. It's hard to say, knowing some of the things that we know now.
Mm-hmm.
It was someone just being influenced by something.
Right.
There seems to be a reason for all of this. The way it's happening, the way things are occurring, some of the elements involved, it is very strange.
The timing, things like that, right?
Right. The timing, yeah. And Linda says it was AI.
Hey, Linda.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, the theory has been postulated for ages that AI is an ancient thing.
Right.
And we've just turned it back on.
Right.
Or learned how to, get it up and running again.
Or figured out how to interface it.
Yeah. Because
we thought it was a machine, but the machine was so complex that it actually has some form of conscious connection or input.
I'm curious, speaking of that, I'm curious how much of these new quantum chips were created with the assistance of AI troubleshooting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Physician heal thyself, right?
You're working on these chips that work outside of space-time, seemingly, or work within a donut of space-time. And warp dimensions and use power from unknown places, postulated other dimensions, and are able to do things in ways that doesn't make any sense at all, other than by framing them into some of the theoretical sciences.
Yeah, because we really just don't know how it worked. We only know it did work. And that sounds a lot like remote viewing, doesn't it? Like the whole psychic program, because they said, we knew it worked. We just don't know how it works.
Oz says, I had a weird experience that led to a grad student coming to my house to give me a 3-hour-long test, and they said it was an IQ test. They wanted to come back, but my mom said no because I didn't want to. Where's part 2?
That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. When they take you out of class and they have you look at symbols and, ask you about holograms and hieroglyphs, things like that. And how many of you guys ever had that happen? I'm just curious. Speaking of which, you were talking about a test, Oz. Guess what we're going to be doing at the event?
Except for I'm going to have a car battery hooked up.
No, you're not.
On one side.
No, you're not. No, you're
we're
not.
going to be doing it just like Peter Venkman.
No, you're not. But we might have brainwave monitors. Just, that's
we might have a few of those. That would be interesting to do.
We might have brainwave monitors if anybody wants to set. And for real, I am being serious. If you want to be a part of the Zinner test, do let me know that too, because that is a 25 card test that we will be running. It takes a little time. So,
and we have 2 headbands that we can use at a time.
Not at the same time. You never put the headbands on at the same time. It's kind of like crossing the streams.
Right.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Anyway,
but it would be interesting to put one on the reader and one on the what would we call them?
I don't know.
What did Joe McMoneagle use?
If you've got somebody, the monitor,
Monitor. One will be monitor, and the other one will be the.
Yeah, it makes you wonder because the monitor's not supposed to know what it is themselves, but are they also picking up? That's the crazy thing about psychic phenomena.
Yeah.
There's just so many possibilities.
Way of the sploot. Those tests happened to me. Wow, the amount of times I got pulled out of class. Right.
What exactly was it, Way? Can you elaborate a little bit on what you remember? This is fascinating. We stumbled onto something here.
Yeah, you like that? Like how just weaseled that out there? That was fun, huh?
Yeah, fun. You guys keep doing that. I'm going to play a clip.
Can you think of any good reason why I can accept we perhaps in the public, just like we shouldn't know how to make nuclear weapons, I can accept there might be technologies that might be quite dangerous from alien technology. But in and of itself, can you think of any good reason why the public can't know that we are not alone?
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate and say yes, because I have a service background. Our economy is based on natural resources, oil being a prime example. It's like hydraulic despotism. The value of an economy is based on your ability to acquire a particular thing. What if, as some have speculated, technology existed to recruit energy right out of the ambient surrounding environment? If you have 0-point energy, what is the basis for the global economy? Everything of value instantly disappears. So now you have this war for control of that technology. So for one thing, it would fundamentally destabilize the economy of the entire world. That's a thing. Now we have nuclear weapons. Already we have foreign adversaries that have hypersonic weapons, and we're supposedly behind them. That's not the case. We all have hypersonic weapons. Okay, now imagine a weapon that can fire a device so fast you can't even measure it by the standard concept of acceleration of a solid rocket fuel-based weapon. If you could fire, and you talked about my faith, there are people who have very radical views of this world and God who want to wipe their enemies off the face of the earth. Would you want to put a propulsion system in the hands of those people if they could, with the touch of a button, annihilate massive numbers of people?
He makes a strong case, doesn't he, for keeping the secret?
A very strong case.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
My part about what I took away from that was that last part where he talks about how fast the weapon is and so forth. And, that is almost play by play in the book of the Hopi. That is almost play by play according, to the words that the last world. That's what happened. They had the shields, the flying shields that could literally almost materialize over top of a city, and they would be able to attack them so fast they wouldn't even know that they had been there. And that's what was laid to waste and started all over. And here we are getting ready to do it all again. It's great. It's awesome. So he asked him that, and he had some really good thoughts on that. Why keep it secret? Because eventually someone's going to crack this. Someone's going to figure this out, because we're not the only ones working on this. You know that as well as I do. There's other countries working on this.
Absolutely. Someone's
going to figure it out. And when they do, they've got the ultimate weapon. And
so,
yeah,
it just, nothing can respond quicker than consciousness. The synaptic relay,
what you said,
in your brain is so much faster, incredibly, infinitely times faster than what the synaptic relay for movement is.
Yep.
If you can tap into that kind of, I guess, functionality with machinery, there's no, it would move nearly autonomously. You would look as if it was moving autonomously, but the thought, the control would be so precise, it would be unreal. But that's the only way to do that kind of speed.
Yeah, it's something that's, again, sounds like science fiction, but they've spent so many millions of dollars on this. It's not even funny, but he does also ask him what he personally thinks, and this is his answer to that. And this makes a lot of sense. This makes a whole lot of sense. So we can give you, the yes without telling you, anything else. Why can't we do that?
Ada wants to know how the Zinner cards, in-house Zinner cards, are coming.
Well,
We got to finish Paranormal Horizons first.
Yeah, we got to finish this thing out first, and then we'll worry about some of the the other artwork projects. And that is an artwork project, but they will happen eventually one day in the future. We did source, and we found a fairly good deal, so it can happen. It can happen in the future. It's just that got to sit down and probably eat a lot of bacon, then they'll come to me. Figure.
So speaking of the weird tests that happen to kids, Jen says I remember stuff like that, but I had a concussion as a kid, and some of that stuff's kind of fuzzy.
Huh.
Way of the Sploot said seeing hidden images, number symbols, patterns, like identifying language. Yep, I remember that one. Way of the Sploot says they asked about how I would group symbols and how to create communication forms with it. And then the results were never provided. You were literally in that class for 45 minutes and you just did things and then went back to your other normal class. You're right. Dances with Orbs said that we had an optional class called Code Breakers where they challenged you with how fast you could decode a message. Pretty much learned a whole new alphabet version because of it.
Wow.
Then let's see. Ovuuru says mine was similar to that too. I was also told to concentrate on one symbol and tell them what I saw, and I had to do it with sounds too. The sounds, yes. The sounds when I remember. I don't remember being shown a symbol and being told what I needed to do, but the sounds, yes. There were certain triggers that they would do with sounds and then tell us what we were seeing or tell us like to describe what we felt or heard.
Ovuuru, you do know that that's a remote viewing protocol, right? Because that's what that is. That's a remote viewing protocol.
So it really was the gateway program.
I don't know, but that's a remote viewing protocol because that's the same thing as having the envelope with the address on the front. That doesn't mean anything. That's the key. I may have a picture inside of this envelope of the target, but on the outside of the target, on the outside of the envelope, it'll have a nonsensical number or symbol or just anything we want. That's how those work. You concentrate on that, and then somehow what is in this and right in your head. That's the first thing that comes into your head. That is a form of remote viewing.
Way of the Flute says it's weird as my parents had to sign forms for these tests. Yeah, my mom had to sign for me to go into the class to begin with.
That is CRV.
It was the gifted program.
I'm pretty sure that's CRV. That's coordinate remote viewing. That was one of the first remote viewing protocols.
So the program that I was involved in when I was young was all through the schools, right? It was a nationwide program, and it was actually called the GATE, GATE program, the Gifted and Talented Education.
I've heard of that before.
And GATE sounds a lot like Gateway.
Yeah, I've heard of that before, actually.
It's kind of weird, especially with some of those tests, huh?
Yeah, I knew some people who were in that, actually. The smart ones didn't play the game. They played dumb. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's what I did. I played dumb and they kicked me out of it.
Yep.
I was only in it. I made it because you started like midway through the year, and then they would keep you in it for, I think it was from 4th grade to 6th grade. And then when you went to middle school, you didn't have it anymore. But yeah, I got knocked out because I thought it was silly. And we would do the tests, and everybody was all like super like, oh yeah, this is cool for the first little bit, but then like it was literally the same things every single time you went in. And like I was like I'm in here with, and I'm gonna sound bad, but like my head, I was in here, I'm like, I'm in here with all the weird kids.
Yeah.
And like we were all weird, mind you, like I was weird too, but yeah, it was interesting. And like I had the good old fashioned ADD, and everybody that was in that class was of similar disposition.
Yeah. In mine, it was they basically pulled me in and they asked me a series of questions, and there was a puzzle. It was looking at three. two-dimensional images of three-dimensional objects and trying to figure out how they go together. Later on, I figured out what those were. That's the same thing that they give pilots, from what I understand, fighter pilots. It's one of the tests that you have to take. It's to see if you can figure out a solution to a problem, I guess, as fast as possible.
Yeah, complex problem solving.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that's on ASFAB tests. And that's what Lesa had mentioned up here above, saying that some of the questions.
This was in grade school. This was in grade school.
Yeah.
Literal grade school.
That is odd.
And
well, that's where the GATE program is it's through grade school.
And they were asking, I remember one of the things in particular that they asked, and that was they wanted to know what a hologram was. A hologram. Now, this was about I don't know, I'd say like 78, somewhere around in there, 77, 78. I mean, hologram. I knew what it was, but that's a weird thing to ask. That is a very weird thing to ask.
Way of the Sploot says it's interesting. I didn't play dumb, and the rest of the tests got harder and more complex, and there was an expectation. So you stuck with the program. Yeah, I got out.
Yeah. If that's what it was, I don't know. I'm just saying it's very interesting that all these people are having almost near experiences that we had now. And I didn't know anything about this. I've never talked about this to anyone, by the way. That's just crazy. This is weird. This is beyond weird. Wow.
Fun times.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild and weird indeed. But, yeah. Well, my train of thought has been completely derailed at this point. So
welcome to Wild and Weird Radio Live.
I don't even know what I was going to show you. I'm completely.
The next one up was going to be the NHI recovery.
And I thank you, Joe. I see it. That's Ross.
They
right?
pay me the big bucks, Ron.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Well, did we play the one where he said his own opinion as to what it was?
Oh, that's right. We didn't get Bell's second part in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's another minute-long clip. Here we go. Okay. Ready, up, and
what do you personally think? Are we ready?
Yes, because here's the thing. Even having played devil's advocate and said all that, and I don't know how or if this is edited, but I'll say this. In the context of everything I just said, you could keep all of that totally protected. I doubt there's very many people out there who could construct a nuclear bomb, even if they had access to the plans. But you could also disclose, yes, we've been in communication with non-human intelligence. Yes, there are multiple species out there. That fact in and of itself is not going to create doomsday weapons, and it's not going to destabilize the economy. It's going to cause the maturing of an entire people. And maybe we'll get to a point in history where instead of being adversarial, we realize, guys, we're part of a much bigger universe. Maybe we need to resolve some of our historical conflicts and start thinking about our place in the universe, not just our place in the world, not our country and our government versus this country and this government, but how are we as a species being evaluated by other species?
Evaluated by other species. Did he really just say that?
It sounded a whole lot to me like he just said that there's a prime directive.
Yeah. And it also sounds like there's a probationary period, possibly, that Earth may be in. And I know, again, sounds weird. That's speculation on my part. But boy, I could see that, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Like we got to get it right. We got to get it within X amount of time, or the offer is going to be rescinded, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it, then this is all we're ever going to get. So the hopes of us turning this thing into the ultimate doomsday weapon, we can't do that. We've got a score here, because if not, we're never going to get this other part that makes this thing work.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense. It sounds very similar to certain things that have been kind of hinted at. You know, if you go back through our, the series here on Wild and Weird Radio, you'll find assimilation. And we talked about some of that, where this stuff was kind of hinted at in sci-fi, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll play this one by Ross here. Well, this one kind of speaks for itself.
What's been happening inside the black world system is, I think, illegal, immoral, and utterly bloody outrageous. You know, we've been summoning or inviting, we can't really summon, we've been inviting non-human craft, allegedly, to come close, and then at times we have been hitting them with high pulse microwaves and bringing them down. And let's assume, hypothetically, that there is a biologic on board, some kind of non-human entity that's an organism or an entity. Whatever has happened to that entity is unclear to me. You've said that the United States has spacecraft, intact craft.
We do.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
Yeah.
Octopus said, this guy sounds like he might not be a shill. Weird. Nikki Bennett says, I remember being taken out of class to do tests in the computer lab. There was only like 5 of us. We would read stories and answer the questions, and they told us there was no wrong answer. That's how it started.
That's exactly what it was like.
Yep, that's how it started. And then depending on how that round went, they put you in gifted or the GATE program.
Yep, that's exactly how it started.
Your backwater planet is under quarantine, big brain primates.
Well, look who it is.
Right.
Well, folks, I guess we figured out that a lot of us were somehow, I don't know, fished for possibilities, I guess. I don't even know what happened.
Terry says, were there cubicles with screens and headphones? Screens would flash GMA. Yes, that's the thing that I was in. But it wasn't a cubicle. It was like a box, but the headphones, and then they would do the imagery. Yeah, that was the thing. You would look at a little teleprompter screen that was like, I don't know, 8 inches. Yeah. But yeah, they had like 2 or 3 of those set up, and they were easily broken down. They weren't like permanent structures. They were small, kind of like a little bit smaller than a porta potty, but had a glass door to where they could observe you through it.
Well, can we find anybody who may understand what that is? I think that's the next question. Like,
Nikki said, I never got to GATE. Anita said, I remember those classes in the library.
Wow.
Yeah, the headphones hurt. They were not like they were hard. They didn't have earmuffs on them. They were just like brown plastic and had no earmuff covers. Like, so they just kind of squeezed on your head, and there was no cover across the top of your head. It was just a metal band. And it was adjustable, so that way you could kind of size it to your head. But there was absolutely zero comfort. Tony says, oh, I remember the headphones in the box. More than one school, too. Apparently, we were weird enough to be tested.
What in the world happened? All right, we need to find some people who conducted these tests, because you've got to be out there. And if you were some of those people who conducted those tests, can you please let us know what you were told that you were doing at the very least? No one's implying that you were doing anything. We want to know what you were told that you were doing at this point. Interesting.
Oh, man. I just found the headphones. I just typed in GATE program headphones, and it brought it up. It's these right here. Hold on. I'm going to throw them up in here. This is going off the rails.
Yeah, hit that present. It should pull it in now. We'll see if it does. All right, here it comes. Uploading. Bam. Oh, good God. I remember those headphones.
Check those bad boys.
Now, mine had an actual, they had not foam, but a real like almost a fake leather kind of thing on the headphones area.
So that the only difference was the band across the head on mine was just a piece of bare metal, and
I've seen those.
and that could be because that brown plastic had just been ripped off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's them. That's them, guys. How many of y'all remember those?
I don't remember very well.
Oh, we got Doyle in the house. Where's Good evening. Hey,
Huh?
you guys, were either one of you guys subjected to strange tests in elementary school? Just curious. Because apparently everybody in the chat has been.
Yeah, this is weird.
Terry says, crap, this is strange.
A little bit.
Octopus says, call me crazy, but that was in the beginning of my spiritual awakenings.
Huh.
Dances said, so maybe the headband had a sensor in it. It very well could be. Thinking about how the muse works, it could have been. But I had hair. Like, I had a big, thick, full head of hair, so I doubt it would have done anything.
No, I don't think so. I'm just being optimistic and saying no. I mean, at this point, anything's
I just
possible.
don't think that would have. My hair was super, super thick. You wouldn't know it now. It migrated from the top of my head to the rest of my body, but it,
very strange.
EyesintheWoods says, I asked for my school records when I graduated, and I have them in a box somewhere. I'm going to go find them. Yes, do it, Eyes. Terry said, yes, that's the ones.
Yeah.
LR says, I remember those. Vinyl padding on the ears.
That's the one.
So you guys, but you guys were closer to the same age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
they had vinyl
younger
padding.
than y'all.
So by the time you came along, they're like, they don't need any comfort.
Right. It might have been the same headphones, just degraded.
They ripped them off.
Yeah. Ovuuru said, well, that image gave me PTSD.
Right.
Oh, man. Watcher says, oh, wait, they were definitely doing that in the 90s when I was in grade school. Yep, that's when I was in grade school. Me and you, I think, are the same age. I didn't put it together, but they called it Gifted and Talented. Yeah, Gifted and Talented is the GATE program. So, yeah, that was GATE.
So the theory is that they may have been both of us, Jesse, more intensely. There you go. So the theory is that they may have been, without knowing it, there may have been a program that possibly was just looking for, filling out, seeing how many check the boxes.
Little did we know we would start doing it ourselves.
Right.
Way of the Sploot says, I was told that those tests were for gathering info on how people think. Those are the headphones. Nightmares about those.
Well, they're definitely there for gathering info for how people think. They weren't lying to you there.
Anita says, wait, so this is a survivors group?
Apparently it is.
Joe says, get Jesse to talk about being taken out of class all the time for puzzle testing. Yeah. That's program.
The puzzles. That's the one. Was it like you had like a bunch of the different shapes and you had to figure out how to make this other one like really quick without moving so many pieces?
Did anybody else get served banana flavored juice during those tests? No, but we did get chocolate milk when it was over. Like before we went back to class, like there was a treat bag that we got. Like it was like incentivize the monkeys,
All I can say is that this is all right. So,
and it was the bag milk too. It was bag milk.
Oh, you had bag milk.
Yep.
I remember seeing that stuff.
But yeah, they would have it sitting there and they'd bring it up for everybody. It was like for treat time after all the stuff was over. I was that was the only major drawback to me about whenever I kind of was like, man, I really don't want to do this anymore. I want to get back in my regular classes and with my friends. And I'm not going to get snack time in the middle of the day anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause we were taken out of class for these things. I remember that much. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts is what it is.
Way of the Sploot. Hi, Jesse and Joe. Then Octopus says, and they wonder why lice spreads through school so quickly.
Headphones, probably. So are they still doing it?
What, the Canada?
Well, yeah, it was weird. What are they still doing these things? Like, is it going by another name at this point? Like, Anybody have any info on this at all? Would be great. This is like some MK Ultra stuff. I don't even know
Anita
what's
said,
going
Ron,
on.
I sent you pics of the ones I remember.
Okay, let me look.
The tanagram tests. I had to do that.
That's
but
it, right?
I was good at them. And yeah, it's the geometry things, the images. So many weird memories flooding through my brain at the moment. Because like I really don't remember a vast swath of my childhood. It wasn't the most pleasant thing in the world. So there's a lot of black areas that are just like, and then we have nothing. But then I remember stuff like this, and it's like tapping in, and like all of a sudden it's like regression hypnosis, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Hang on a sec.
I remember taking the tests in more than one school, grades 3 through 6. Yep. And then they ended after elementary school was over. That program didn't go further. There were other things. It was like, oh gosh, I can't remember the other name of the program that carried on, but it had a different name. Tanagram. Now there's a word I haven't heard in eons. Vincent Ellison gave me puzzles, ate the pieces, special there on that.
That's how you get out. That's how you get out.
That is how you get out.
Yeah. Good play. Oh my gosh, you guys are too much.
Well, we know that we can bring crayons to the get together for Vincent.
That's just fantastic. That's how you win, guys. That's winning right there. Just to let y'all know, if you don't know what winning looks like, that's winning right there.
I have not laughed that hard in a long time, Vincent. That was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that's just fantastic.
Oh man.
Hang on a second, guys. I am trying to find this.
Terry says, I remember doing it in elementary school. Would have been in the late 70s.
Yep. You got it. That's the time period. That would be it. What in the world, guys?
Octopuses are pretty good at puzzles if we're in the right mind space. No wonder we got orbs to show up out in the middle of a field a month or so ago, when we were all collectively thinking balloon flashes in a field collectively.
This is a massive data set.
Octopus says, can I tell you something, Joe? No. And Ron too, especially not Ron. Okay. So when I get into a test, I feel like I can tap into the universal knowledge base and figure out anything. Yeah, that's called ADD.
No, it's
but
not.
No, for real though. It's
yeah. That's interesting. No, it really is. That's interesting. That's
this right here. That's a really good question. Was there something in the chocolate milk? Was there something in your weird banana flavored water? I can't say that I ever had the banana flavored water.
You wouldn't remember if you did.
Clearly.
It proves it. No.
Octopus says, I got a 99 on the ASVAB, which means you maxed it. 99 is the highest you can take on or hit on an ASVAB. So basically any job in the military was open.
Wow. I'm lost.
Then we got the record getting brought up here.
Oh my goodness, Anita. Oh my goodness. I've had those headphones as well. we might have to buy some of these, Joe. These are the ones we need to like, because they will just bring back memories.
Right here. I have ADD and very good recognition of patterns is what helps me. That's exactly why all of us were in that program. There's something in our brains. It's not quite right, but works really good on other things.
Well, it's very interesting that you said that, because that's what Gary Nolan says as well. And, that's all I'm going to say about that.
We have more synaptic relay.
Where'd it go? I just downloaded this. Where'd it go?
We were all eating a lot of Jell-O salads in the 70s. Who put celery in Jell-O?
There you go.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Now these are the ones that had the volume. You see the little
I was gonna say,
knob there?
we used these in the military for hearing tests.
Really?
Yep, we use that exact headset in the military for like
Hearing
anytime we had to go
tests.
in, because I was in fabrication, right?
Yeah.
So we're using a rivet gun, and when you're to get some of these rivets in, I mean, you're talking some of the rivets I was shooting was like that big around, right?
Yeah.
So we would have to really lean into it to fire it, and so you're on what's essentially a giant metal drum, and so you had to take hearing tests quarterly.
That makes sense.
And so yeah, those were what we used. We had that pair, and there was a pair that was kind of like a teal green.
Mm-hmm.
And it just depended on what bay you went in to go do your hearing test.
Isn't that something? Because literally, if you look at that, it's almost the same color. Yeah, those are wild.
Seth Womack says, I did those tests in school in the early 2000s. Strange how they were curious about studying how people think, but then didn't do anything specific with the info later on in school. Or did they?
Data, man. It's data.
Yeah.
That's interesting, guys. Like, we just stumbled across this by complete accident. And, I mean, I don't know. Do you remember anything else? Anything other kind of strange tests that you may have encountered?
Oh, Anita says, guess what? My company makes Warrior's Edge headsets. Nice. Way of the Sploot brings back memories, brown and god awful green.
They were the same colors. Yes. That tan color or the brown.
Dun, dun, dun. And then I would grab a scoop if I saw it in potluck.
Everybody start sharing this out, because God knows we need this one shared out. This is, I want to get feedback on this. This is something.
Well, okay, here, how about this? Not next week, but the week after, we will do a live specifically on the gate program.
Yeah.
There's enough data out there. Trust me. There, I guarantee we can find enough. And there are probably rabbit trails upon rabbit trails on where this stuff links to.
I don't know, but we'll definitely update it. That's for darn sure, because I got a feeling that our inbox is going to be full of some interesting stories. If you don't want to talk here, please do.
We're suddenly going to get our data catalog mined again from DC.
Probably. This is probably going to get us back on the special list.
They're going to arrest me and take me to the Montauk Underground, aren't they, guys? Sad octopus noises.
Yeah, but seriously, wildandweirdwv.com. That's where you go. There's a little sightings tab over there. Just go fill that out. Or if you don't even want to do that, just
Rob says they made me do recess by myself after those tests.
What?
Okay.
Oh, that's weird.
Now, were you in a group when you were being tested and then they made you do this, or were you individually, like you may have been the only person in the gifted program in your school? So you got like the same thing. It was kind of like the equivalent of me and the other 5 kids getting a random snack time and you getting playtime. The back screens had geometric shapes, kind of like the old Vectrax video games. Yeah. That is similar. It was like those old upright box video game kind of stuff. The way it would show up, like the geometric explosion patterns.
This is
vector shapes, and they were red, green, blue, and yellow.
So what were they testing? That's a good question. What were they testing?
That one, it was we were looking for pattern. Like if again, you're talking childhood memory.
Yes, exactly. You're looking for, you saw the dots, right? And you had to tell what it was. That's what this one was, right?
Well, there was that one, but this
L
one
shape
had,
and
moving vector shapes.
Okay.
And we would have to determine or guess essentially, I say guess, but it was more of like an intuitive sort of thing. Think of it. It felt honestly like, looking back at it now, it was almost like a freaking Rorschach test, but with geometric shapes that were kind of moving. Yeah. And they would ask us what we would see and what it made us feel and what we thought, that kind of stuff.
Wow. That's fascinating, guys.
Tony says, do you remember the aliens testing you? Next week on Wild and Weird.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
That only 5 of us took that test. Rob says, just kidding.
Oh man, it almost makes me want to get regress so I can remember that now.
Then
That's I can't remember that. I can remember parts of it, bits and pieces of it. That's it.
Dance says, do you remember the CAT test, California Achievement Test? No, I have no memory.
No, tell us more.
Trackway says, I see 4 straps of bacon. I see 3 strips of bacon.
Yep.
Sizzle.
That's how you do it. Well, guys, do you want to see what you got last week? Who wants to see the next episode of Paranormal Horizons, the brand new trailer?
Pat says, I went to private school, so no special tests for me. They did take standardized test scores in middle school and invited me to participate in a DC or study in DC, but I didn't go.
You should have. You could have been somebody today.
Right? He would have been our designated CIA. Wait a minute, Pat.
What the crap?
Are you our designated? It's all starting to make sense now.
It's all coming full circle. This is it.
Yes, Ron. Full video, please.
Well, there's audio too. I did a really good job for you guys.
Anita said, if you want, I can put you into a trance, light hypnotic, and open your memories up.
Yeah, I know. I can do that too, but I don't know that I want to. There are things there.
Food of the gods.
They probably need to be there, sealed away.
All right, let's get that beautiful bean footage rolling. You guys get to see never before seen footage and a sneak peek of what's to come. Horizons.
You're going to see, because you unlocked the other one too. Here's the trailer, and this will be the official trailer, so you get to see it before anybody else. Sit back and enjoy.
All we're doing is placing the data on the table. We're not trying to tell you what this is. We never have been.
I don't know what this is. Something shut the systems down.
Something just shut all the systems down.
There are multiple things happening at the exact same time that these sensors are catching us up. This is sensor data.
1.6. What? Got a 1.61.
You cannot deny the fact that those pieces of equipment are picking this up.
UAP over the horizon.
We are out of battery.
So it's letting us get back in.
Okay. All right. Something was there.
So now whatever's going on might be over.
What?
Let's just stop.
What?
That's a pretty good summary. There's some other bells and whistles, but that's a pretty good summary of what you got coming. And it's real data. So, it's definitely something that made us think. And it is, it's full of little pushes and nudges. Wouldn't you say that's the right word? Pushes and nudges?
That would be appropriate.
Yeah. Something's definitely pushing and nudging. And I do have the one extra one that you guys bought into tonight, and I'll go ahead and play that for you.
Pat said, what?
Yeah, that's kind of what we said. What was happening too? We can't talk a lot about it. What you said. We can't talk a lot about it yet, but next week we will definitely be talking about it more in depth.
Yep.
But I can tell you that the question of if this is an actual interaction with something non-human intelligence, definitely intelligent. That question to me personally, just personally at this point, is the data says it has to be. I mean, I'm at 97.7% at this point that there's something there, and it's very intelligent, and you're going to get to see it. I mean, maybe not it, but you're going to definitely get to see its footprints, its tracks, so to speak. Remember how I always said there was
because it's Bigfoot.
It's not Bigfoot. I don't think. You know how I always said it was like an invisible boat. We could just see the wake.
Yeah.
Boy, did we see the wake. The wake almost was a tsunami on this one. But I'll let you see something. You were talking about eggs earlier. Remember those eggs?
Oh yeah, I remember eggs.
Remember the eggs? Okay, here you go.
I got another one. Roughly same area.
Visibly nothing.
What? Visible nothing. It's barely moving.
If you go back to...
There it is. Got it.
You got it?
Yep.
On it.
Yep.
All right.
Right there.
We're going to record. That is static. It's not moving.
It's moving.
No, it's moving. It's moving.
It's moving.
It's just moving slow.
Yeah.
That's real. Just so if there's any questions about this, that is real. That is a thermal signature.
Yep.
That is a heat signature. That is a cold ring around the heat signature. And it was barely moving. And it did finally take off. It's not a plane. We have, and you'll get to see that too. There's
plenty of
there's plenty of to back this up. Yeah, I think that what happened out there in that field and what happens afterwards, it's all interrelated. This is related phenomena. Okay. What happened out there is definitely related. It's the same phenomena. This is not something different, in my opinion. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And the data says it's very real. It's extremely real.
So let's see. What do you guys think of that? Government drone watching y'all. What was that went fast over the top of that?
Let me check.
In that last clip, there's a small target that seems to go over top of it.
Wouldn't surprise me. All right, let's watch. I'm gonna watch it one more time for you.
I got another one. Roughly same area.
Visibly nothing.
What?
Visible
nothing.
That little thing,
Insect.
that's an insect.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell it's an insect. Yeah, that's 100% insect.
Linda says, how big was it? Could you tell? We couldn't really gauge size. We could roughly gauge distance based on some of the direction, or not direction, but some of the objects that it was around. But then as it flew off, the thing is, the size didn't really change a whole lot as it faded out. It was really odd.
Yeah, it actually goes. You can see it go behind that tree in the background as well. That tree's pretty far off. So whatever that was
There was a sound, a drone whirring, or it was a
no. Those are bikes.
Motocross.
Yeah, that's a motocross. We're literally conducting this thing right across from a motocross area. All this stuff's happening over these people's heads, and they have no idea.
So back to Linda's question there. If I had to guess, I would say somewhere around the size of the Volkswagen van. Like, I think that would be a good estimate.
Small aircraft.
Yeah, small.
Like a Piper, like small.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Piper or something little.
Yeah. But that's a guess. I mean, again, guys, that's a guess. We don't know.
Have you tried pointing a laser at it? Can't really say.
Can't right now. Can't talk about that.
You can watch and find out, though.
Can't talk about that just yet.
Then like the small orb I saw. This was, I wouldn't call this small. Like, I mean, it's just, even a small aircraft is pretty big.
Well, the one she saw was a pretty good size. The one
yeah. Well, this and Linda, this was filmed the same night that we were with you. This is where we went after we wrapped up with you, and that's why we had to kind of get off that hill in a hurry.
What do you think about that? Because that's a little.
Yes, I would say probably a little bit bigger, or maybe the same size. But what you saw was more of a light, like a point of light, like a orb, a psyop or CEOP, and this is invisible to the naked eye. It's only visible on thermal. It had no infrared assisted targeting, just thermal signature. That's it.
Yeah, we couldn't see that thing except for with thermal.
Do you have a release date next Wednesday.
Yeah. Squad members should see it Monday, but I'm not going to swear to that. We
Yep.
don't control that. We just, we just go out, make the stuff, send it off, and they do the rest. So yeah, it should be Monday for squad and Wednesday public. But I've been told public is Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was by the man himself.
Yep. That was from Seth.
Yeah.
And we do have a special guest for next week.
We do have a special guest for next week's Beyond the Horizon because we will be talking about this stuff. So next week, we will have Heather Moser joining us. And we're going to talk about some weird stuff. We're going to talk about this and a few other things. And it should be a really incredible show. So get your questions ready because it's going to be a fun one.
So Pat says, do we know how far away it was? Given where it was at, I would say maybe a couple thousand feet. And that was a guesstimate that Roni and I both made based off of our, military background. Again, it is a guesstimate. We couldn't really, you can't see it visually. We were looking at it through a 2x optical zoom, but we knew how far away a couple of those items that were in the frame were later, because you will get to watch this go on. And there were a couple targets that were in the frame that we did have a relative idea of their distance from us. So that's why we were able to kind of make that guesstimate. Dances said, could you play the video I sent and see if anyone has an idea of what it could be? Is this the one with the daytime light? The one that I sent you, Ron? I think because I haven't gotten anything else other than that one. And we can play that one, but we're waiting to play it on a in focus episode.
Let me see.
Octopus says, I'm still here. I'm just eating pasta.
Oh, wow, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Do you have a way to ping it like sonar?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
We can't do that. They can't.
You gotta have a license and stuff. Now you can build the equipment.
We can build a radar, guys. No, we're not building a radar.
Yeah, you kind of get in trouble for that if you don't have the license, and they can't. It's easy for them to catch you because you got a signature.
Well, you are kind of broadcasting,
Yep.
Some signal. So, looking on here.
Battery low, night owls.
Where? Yeah, there it is. Da, 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 da. Radio shows. Here we go. Live. Let's see.
Ron over here inadvertently humming the first few notes to the A-Team theme.
Well, someone's got to be the A-Team. There's enough B teams out there. That's all I'm going to say. RAT submissions. Nope. I don't see it here. Well, where did it go? Well, it's here somewhere. But we'll put that out for the next In Focus episode. So if you guys want to send in some stuff for that, we'll be putting one of those together. That'll be after. Well, no, it won't be after because we have another special guest that we're not going to talk about that's coming week after next. We'll reveal that next week. So you got to be here for that one. But it's a very, very, very special guest. And that's going to be really cool. So 3 weeks? Yeah, we'll do an In Focus in about 3 weeks. So if you guys got anything you want to send over for us to look at, for the whole community to look at, and have a say in, then by all means send it, and we'll do that. We'll take a look at it and talk about it, etc., etc. Wow, what a fascinating evening it has been. We went from crash retrievals. This is how the show works. We go from crash retrievals to legacy programs to finding out that we all may have been in some kind of strange screening process. That's just bizarre, guys. But that's why we're Radio Live. You never know what's going to happen here. Tell your friends. They too may have been screened for potential psychic applications.
Never know.
Were you potentially screened for psychic applications without your consent? If so,
You have. Please contact us at wildandweirdwv@gmail.com. Tell us your story. Reveal your deepest traumas to us.
sometimes I just don't know what to say. It's just easier to laugh.
Laser rangefinder. I mean,
not that strong, bud.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
The thermal I have has a rangefinder on it, but it's only good to like 900 feet.
Yeah, it's not. It's not gonna ping a plane.
No. Kenny says my possible orb was roughly the size of a soccer ball 200 yards away. Yeah, that photograph was nuts. And I don't even think you were quite 200 yards away.
Fantastic.
Anita says, I just sent Ron a picture of Four Eyes Owl we could put on the t-shirt.
Yeah, I saw the owl picture you sent me. That was hilarious. I've got it.
People who have been screened would naturally be drawn to this program. Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. That's the whole point. That's, you know.
If you have been part of this program and you're watching this after it's aired, comment below for real.
Yeah. It's no joke.
And then meet us back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. And you can watch this show pretty much any time of the year, next year, this year, whenever, and still catch us next Thursday.
Yeah.
At 8 p.m. because that's just how we roll.
This is how it's how it works around here. But you can also catch us in person at this event.
Explore the unknown.
Yeah.
A free event.
This is the collective meeting and get together. And what we're going to do there is kind of like what you saw here tonight, except for we're going to do it in person, which is kind of cool. We're going to have data reveals. We're going to have some presentations. We're going to have equipment demos. We're going to have workshops there. There'll be special guests, things like that in the future. But this one, we're going to kick off with the inaugural event, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to come out, like I said, you're going to see some of the equipment that we use. We'll let you, put your hands on it and hopefully get out there and point it at the sky. And if everything goes well, you'll get to see it for yourself. And I don't know, will there be summoning? Probably not, but you never know what happens when you get that many people with like intent. Let's just say that it's happened before. It'll probably happen again.
Seth asks, would a laser rangefinder out to 2,000 yards do the trick? It might have that night.
It would have at Wineberry.
Oh, 100% at Wineberry. Definitely would have.
It would have at Wineberry, Seth. Yeah. Which, we'll be going back there soon. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I says I was too worried about hubby hooked up to the router. I'm undercover. Only you all know about my interests.
That's funny.
Mark Winnell, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you on here.
Hello.
EyesintheWoods. We've definitely got to get you down to one of these meetings one day.
Oh gosh,
never know. We might make you a special guest just to get you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing for real. That's what we want. We want guests who have actually been in the field, who've actually done these things, who've seen the stuff, talked about the stuff, not just people who write about it, not just people who, make podcasts about it, but people who have been boots on ground talking about they know what they're talking about. They've seen it. So they're okay to talk about it. They should be talking about it, but they're not getting, the recognition that they need, so to speak. This is the
Seth
data.
Says I know a guy talking about
a guy. All right, then.
Okie doke.
Well, that's good because, that's a thing.
So we we have had a really interesting night.
What an amazing show. Folks, what do you think? Did we stumble upon something tonight?
I plan to be in West Virginia for the event at Nitro, West Virginia. That's awesome.
Well,
we'll get to hang out then.
Check that out because, that's happening.
Yep. We will be speaking and presenting and be on the panels. So we're going to be there all day and we'll definitely get a chance to hang out.
Yep. This will be a blast. Now I'm even more excited than I was before.
Right?
So yeah, folks, be there. Be at Project Odd. That's in Nitro on the 31st. And well, not this month, 31st. Is there 31st this month? Because I don't even think there is. That's just
March.
weird. No, I don't think there is. But anyway, May 31st. Down on it's on 21st.
There is
Street
a March 31st.
Is there really?
Yeah, March 31st.
Oh wow. Check that out.
Because we pay attention to calendars, y'all.
I don't. I totally don't. They tell me when there's going to be an event, and I'm like, when? Oh, okay. I'll be ready. But
Anita's going to be on a couple podcasts coming up, so you have to check her out.
Yep, definitely.
Terry says, thanks for tonight's nightmare fuel. You're welcome, buddy.
That's what we do.
We're here to
That's
please.
what we do. We help you. Help yourself.
Oh, your husband's an engineer, then you should have him start trying to reverse engineer some of the technology. Just show him some of it. Like, think about how this would work. Tell me how to make this work. How would you make this work? Put those hard plastic headphones on his head and tell him to think real hard.
Play some tones. That might help.
We'll get him into hemisync.
Yeah, put him in hemisync.
Like, I know.
That's how it works. Just got to trigger it. It's all good. Well, folks, what do you think about the show? Thumbs up, et cetera, et cetera. Comments. Make sure, like I said, seriously, make sure we get this one shared out because there's.
You guys have blown up the chat, by the way, tonight.
There's a lot. There's a lot to digest in this one, and we really want to make sure a lot of people see it.
And we hit 15 donations tonight. Thank you guys.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. Absolutely. That is the taco bar. Thank you so much.
There's the taco bar for
thank you for tacos.
For the event. So
thank you for tacos. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
We'll have hard and soft, and yeah, it'll be good.
Tacos. We get tacos, guys.
We do.
I'm so excited. We get to sit around and well, first of all, you're going to get to see some really cool stuff.
Oh, it's so punny. I love it, Lesa. A lot of food comments to digest.
Oh, I like it. We want tacos. See, it's unanimous, and you will get tacos. You bought them. You paid for them. Everybody, make sure that you thank the person sitting beside you for the tacos. And I hope you can make it because, gosh, Linda, what'd she say? What?
Linda says, I will bring desserts.
Oh, man. There you go. Yes. And hey, Linda, I will eat desserts.
Y'all are manifesting bacon cards. Flip it over, Ron. Flip it over.
Totally bacon cards. I got a good feeling about it. You ready? Here we go.
Let's do it.
Nope.
Oh, square. It's hip to be square. Da, da, da.
It's a knot circle.
Oh no, the dreaded knot circle.
It's a knot circle.
Now we need to come up with lore for the knot circle.
Knot circle. It's a knot circle. So y'all failed. You know what? Let's do one. We can do one for a few weeks. It'll be fun. For you folks who are new to this is a Zener card test. It is not an actual Zener card test. It's just something we do with our audience. I like to screen them, kind of like apparently the schools did back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Just something I like to do. I've been doing it since, I was in school. True story. Absolute true story. At lunch, I had my own set of dinner cards. I made them, and I would test those who were willing to sit at my table and let me record the data. Okay. That being said, Joe, where is the graphic? There's a graphic for this.
Media assets.
All official and stuff.
Should be. Let me find it.
I don't see it. Oh, it's down here.
Got it.
That's it. So there are your choices. Now, there are many ways to do this. There are people who like to just guess, but that is not how you do that. How you do it is you set yourself a visual or mental or audio cue, and you say to yourself, this is the card. This is the card. And whatever that card is, That's what it is. It pops into your head. Like when you snap your finger, for example. When I snap my finger, I'm going to know what this card is, something like that. So however you do it, I usually tap the deck. So if that works for you, when I tap the deck, just, put your guess in there. If you already got it, go ahead and put your guess in there. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. But I'm going to tap the card deck right now. There are no triangles. Just stop. Okay. Before you even start, there are no triangles.
It's already started.
Oh, jeez.
Ovuuru was like triangle.
Okay.
All right. I've got the first one marked. The first guess is marked, so we're counting down from there.
It's this one right here. This is the one you're focusing on. The other cards don't exist. It's this one right here. What is this card? That's what you're going to say. The first thing that pops into your mind, that's what you want to go with. Boom, just like that.
Okay, we got 21 of you guys. 21 of the 41.
That's pretty good. Folks, come on and let's see what you can do.
425. We got 25.
More of a disclaimer here. This is not some kind of weird cultish thing, by the way. This is a Zeno card test.
Demons.
It's really not. It is a standard psychic test that was created and used in the Ryan Institute. It kind of helps to either validate or not psychic experience, precognition, or just about any psychic phenomenon. You can use these for just about anything, right? That's the whole point. That's the great. They're like a Swiss Army knife of psychic tests. But right now,
so we're now up to almost 30 entries.
Okay, good.
So we're at 90, about 80%.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else want in? If not, we're going to count down and get them in there.
31 is saying wavy bacon.
Okay.
Dodecahedron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if we want to use them to summon my demon?
You can't. They don't work like that. That's something completely different. Sorry.
Pat, the IRS isn't going to come after you right now.
All right, here we go. I'm getting ready to turn this thing over in 3, 2, 1. Wait, what did I say it was? Did I say what it was? It's star.
No.
Oh
Wavy
my
line.
God.
Bacon for the win. You guys got the first official one. You
did it. You manifested the Who said they were manifesting bacon? You manifested the bacon.
Octopus said y'all are manifesting bacon cards.
That's it. Check that out.
So we had the 1, 2, 3. Pat got it, baby.
I've almost come down to the conclusion that you people are just like the guys in Vegas on roulette who always bet on black. This is your black.
They always bet on bacon.
This is that's what that is. They're just betting on bacon.
We got 5. We have a 5 total of 5.
I really expected more from.
I did too. That was a low turnout for that one.
You bacon fiends.
Everybody was turned off from the first bacon negative result.
You bacon fiends. No, you can't think about what it was before or anything like that. You gotta clear your mind. Yeah. Breathe in a little bit. Just do that. Let's just do 10 seconds of breathing in and breathing out. Okay. So let's just do that for a little bit. Just breathe in.
Kenny says, who shuffled that deck?
Breathe out. Just like that. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. I'm going to tap it this time. So we're going to wait. We're going to do a tap, and then I'm going to do another one. I'm going to look at it. And we're going to see how that goes. This is going to be another one of the blind ones. This is going to be one of these. Ready? And now. First thing you saw. I saw something. I'll tell you when you tell me.
Star was a common guess in the first one, and there's a few people asking what was on the bottom. Circle. All right.
Don't let that cloud your mind, though.
Don't let it cloud your mind.
That's not what you're thinking about.
Think. I got the first one marked.
And it can be anything.
Adventure Time's
I mean,
tattoos. My kid loves Adventure Time. First one is marked. All right.
They're still coming in.
They're still coming in. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 23. We're setting at 23, 23, 23. 23 of 34. That's not bad.
23 going once. You're going twice. I think it's a square. Going 3. It's
Star. You guys from last round took the cake. Gary Schuler says star. We got 1, 2, 3. 3 people said star that time.
Now, how many people were going to say star? Doesn't count, but how many people were going to say star? Because that's an observation that I made years ago. Okay, last run. And here we go. I'm looking at it. And there you go. You just tell me what I'm looking at. That's what you want to look at. You want to just, that's what you're telling yourself. What card is Ron looking at? That's what you're going to say. And then whatever flashes in front of your face when you say that, that's what you're doing.
Square, consideration of 4 cardinal directions.
Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. There's a weird interference pattern taking place there. That's interesting stuff going on. That's cool. Y'all thinking too hard. You're making interference patterns happen in the, in the studio there. That's good.
How many of you have guessed Zorp was coming to visit?
None of us at all.
Greetings, Earthlings. Hello, humans. How are you?
No.
I hope you are well. We are excited, so excited to see you and spend time with you at the Earth Human event that is going to be conducted by Wild and Weird West Virginia. We have been studying them for very, very long. You will be pleasantly surprised by what you will find at their so-called meeting.
Zorp, I got to ask you a question since we got you on the show. I mean, you're
Yes.
here, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
All right. So, is it not true that you were originally, sent to Earth, and you were on observation, from what I understand? That's what I heard. You were on an observation,
Correct.
and your ship just decided to take this nosedive. You guys jumped off, and you said something about you went over to Margaritaville or something. Isn't that how that went down?
And
And
then we decided to stay.
yeah,
We
that's
fell
what I
in
heard.
love with the concoction of the
That's
lime and the salt and tequila.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. So would you say that you're talking about margarita? So would you say that margaritas could be they could be the bridge between our species? Is it
Indeed.
fair? Fair? Yeah.
The
Okay.
margarita
Yeah.
was reason enough for us to break the prime directive and
Well, yeah.
try to integrate ourselves into your society.
Oh, so basically, you're saying that you guys like to party.
Oh, like to party? We are the party.
No.
Yes, we
Okay.
bring the party to Earth because, well, without us, Earth's a little boring.
Yeah, Earth's a little boring. You're right. So, got a quick question before you. I know you got to beam back and whatnot, but here's a quick question. Are you concerned, or I should say, ask, have you had any experience directly with these psychic connections, these psychic hijackers? Obviously they took your ship down, but can you speak to that? Like, there are people who are telling people to go out and have these thoughts and communicate with you guys. Is that okay, or do you guys just like leave us alone?
Well, generally, when we pass by your planet, we try to keep our distance. But now the secret is out. And instead of we come in peace, we come to party. And it's going to be such a good time.
It's a good
And
time.
now all of our friends are coming. Have you heard
What?
about
Wait.
2026 yet?
What? Wait a minute. What friends? What?
Yeah, we sent a signal out to all of our friends. They're coming in 2026.
Wait a minute here, just a second, okay? Because there's this thing going around the internet where they're saying that there's this mothership that's heading for us 2026, 2027, something like that, and they're saying it's the apocalypse. I mean, what you're telling, it's what, a party barge? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, very similar to what you humans call a party barge. This is more of a big party ship. You cannot wait to see what goodies we have in store for you on the party ship. It is going to be fantastic.
Oh, see, so they come in peace, guys. It's all good. Everything's fine. Everything's great. Just go back to what you were doing,
Yes.
and yeah, right. Continue to work, and it's all good. There's nothing, no need to.
Also, circle.
How'd you guess?
Zorp is everywhere. Zorp is connected to you through your consciousness.
Yep. Zorp is connected through your consciousness. It was
Indeed.
circle.
Very good, Earth human Ron. You have represented your species well, as have all of the people in the chat. You are awesome.
Uh-huh. Okay, folks. That's interesting. Anyone got a question for Commander Zorp? Feel free. I mean, he doesn't make an appearance, so it's pretty rare, actually.
These are very rare indeed.
It's extremely rare.
Normally, we only show up to the biggest of festivities. So
where
we
is,
are very pleased that we were able to pull time out of our busy schedule to show up here.
Where's Cargon? What's going on there? What's up?
Cargon is manning the helm. You guys, the last time that you are out trying to find UFOs, you managed to get a picture of our ship. You didn't mean to, but I believe that the entity known as Mr. Good may have had some kind of an interaction with our ship and caused the chameleon circuit to break and made us to go into warp drive unexpectedly. And, Cargon is the engineer. So he is making the ship functional again so that we will not be able to miss the OBC Bigfoot Festival.
Oh, Bigfoot, yeah. So aliens and Bigfoot, that's a thing now, right? You guys,
yes.
you
Yes,
party or
we have
what?
been very interested in their kind. We've used them to build things in the past, but now they are here to party too. So we are going to go party with them.
So what you're saying is everybody should get to OBC, right?
Yes.
Come to OBC, because you're going to be there.
Yep.
Cargon's going to be there.
Indeed.
And apparently Bigfoot's going to be around somewhere. And I guess everybody's going to just be out, partying.
With any luck, we will get to see the big feats. But I do know that we will get to go visit our friend, Glenn Adkins. And he will be so excited to see us after our last visit.
Glenn's pretty terrified of aliens, though.
Oh, yes.
Or just, okay.
He won't remember much of it, though.
Okay, that's cool. All right, then. So Zorp, we had this strange thing happen tonight where we all most of the audience actually learned that they may have been screened for some sort of possible psychic program, something like that. You got any thoughts on that? You got any?
It is impressive, first off, that any of you Earth humans are capable of such feats. But there are some of you, and apparently your government has taken some kind of an interest in this.
Okay. Well, that's all we need to know, probably, right, guys?
But it's okay. We know where all of you are anyway. So we're going to come party with you.
So I want to make sure, though, just for everybody who is listening about the 2026, 2027 thing, right? Whatever's coming, that whole thing. It's a party barge, right?
Yes.
Party, as in just, having a good time. Party it's not a word for something else, right? That's not
Party has many meanings in our languages, many of which your human tongue cannot pronounce or utter. But generally, it is always a positive thing.
So it's a positive thing, guys. There you go. It's not
overwhelmingly positive, especially once you include the margaritas.
Yeah. Well, either way, we won't remember it. That's what he's saying.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, that's a great thing. Well, Commander, we look forward to seeing you. Hopefully, soon. Understand, we all. Yeah. Right. That's not creepy. That's not creepy at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So where are you heading next? That's a good question.
Well, when you feel that weird, creepy feeling looking at you from the corner, don't worry. We're not recording. Cargon, beam me out. Beam me out, Cargon. Cargon, where are you?
Apparently he's working on the ship. I mean, that's all I can figure.
Our engineer is broken.
Yeah. You're still here.
Fine. Cargon, you... Oh, I feel so tingling. I feel a tingle. Cargon is... Oh, yes, it is Cargon. Cargon, beam me out, engineer Cargon.
What the world? Anyway, folks. Apparently Zorp and Cargon's going to be making their appearance relatively soon, from what I understand. And it should be a fun time. Should be a real fun time. And let's see what else we got over there. We got people talking. So let's pull that back up. Somewhere around here. Let's see. Joe fell on a portal. He did. He fell on a portal, and it probably pulled him into the I don't know, the umpteenth dimension or something. It's very hard to tell. Where you been, Joe?
Oh man, I really had to go take a leak. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I drank the entire mason jar of water, and like that wasn't my first one before the show started. So I really, my back teeth are starting to float.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Commander Zorp was here, just to let you know. You missed him.
What?
Yep.
I missed Zorp.
Yep. Zorp was here.
Oh.
Yep. That's what everybody's talking about over there.
I see that now over there. Yeah. Trackway will be at OBC with Bacon, and apparently Zorp will probably come visit you. How are you handling anti-gravity? Oh man. All aboard the asteroid.
All aboard the asteroid. I'm making that. That's a shirt. That's a shirt. All aboard the asteroid. Yeah. That's going to be a good one. We're doing it.
I said I watched a CIA movie, and they said the apocalypse actually meant a nice get together.
Well, that's what we were just told. So,
oh man. Well, it looks like you guys at least had some fun with Zorp while I was.
We had some fun. We had some real good fun. We learned about 2027 and 2026, and the whole coming apocalypse. Really? Yeah. Apparently, it's just a party barge. It's coming, and it's gonna be a big intergalactic party with all the humans.
So, how did everybody do on this intercard test? Did we
actually
off rails?
We went off rails. Yeah, it was circle, as you saw, which was weird.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can't even keep up with all the stuff over here. No, this is the truth. That's the truth right there.
You're not right in the head, my friend.
No. Nope. You're absolutely right, Seth.
Oh man.
Nope.
Margaritas, drinks of the gods.
Yes.
Ask Zorp what the card is. Octopus asked. Oh man. The Mayan calendar is actually a margarita recipe.
Oh my God. Now that's a shirt.
That
make it into a lime wedge,
That needs to be the Zorp and Cargon shirt.
Oh my God. That's true.
That would be perfect.
Well,
because you've already got that one Mayan calendar generated. Man. It would be an easy make.
That'd be funny. That'd be hilarious.
Margaritas save the human race from an invasion. Any race that can create a drink that can't be all that bad. Oh, they party. Why do you think they crashed? You lock your ship doors when you fly by. Oh man. It's given us 50 more years to spiritually change based on our music, art, weed. Oh man.
Oh, this is
What's the card, Zorp? What's the card?
That's hilarious. No, what's funny is that was the card.
Zorp got the card.
That was good. Circle, yeah. Mm-hmm. Zorp got the card.
Fun times.
That was great. Wow. Well,
the tingling was just gas.
Swamp gas.
Oh man.
Carnival
and he knew the card too.
That was good. Yeah. I like that one. Carnival Ship of the Sky. That was good.
Oh, wait, where's it at?
It's right here. Carnival Ship of the Sky. That was good. That's good.
Oh, man. Well, guys, this has been an absolute blast tonight. You got a visit from Zorp, and that was fun.
Well, that's a possible thing there, Pat. That's true.
It's all fun and games until the aliens run out of tequila. Yeah, that could be how that mashup ends.
Yeah. It could be.
2027, the aliens saw how much we love dinosaurs. They're bringing them back. I hope so.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Yeah, you guys, hope you've all had a good night. Tonight was absolutely fun. Family calling me for a late dinner. For once, I'm not cooking. Hey, go get you something. Enjoy it, brother. Or sister.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Alien
Intergalactic
thing,
family. You
light
guys
beam,
are awesome.
energy creature, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever you may be.
Thank you, everybody, for spending this evening with us and having such a good time. It was great to get off on a complete side rail with you all.
Wow. What a side rail.
Gave us a whole new episode to play with.
Gave us a whole new set of data to look at and go down another rabbit hole. Oh boy.
Well, all I know is that these get-togethers are going to be really fun.
I mean, this is virtual. You can imagine what happens in person.
I know, right?
Wow.
Guys, again, check us out on PlayStation Network. If you play online games and enjoy Fortnite, we're always on there a good bit. Way of the Sploot. I did get your friend request, by the way. And then let's see. At least I'm pretty sure I got your friend request. I got somebody's friend request. But
it's probably that person you bumped off there the other night. Yeah.
Yeah.
They hate you. They're after you now.
I know, right? Oh man. So guys, it's been fun. If you've had a sighting you want to report, wildnerd.com sighting report tab, fill out the questionnaire. We'll be in touch with you. If you want to catch us out on the road, first chance is going to be actually at the get together there in Charleston, and potluck tacos for all. And it's going to be a good time. Thank you guys for what you all do, and we're going to show you our appreciation that night with tacos.
Yeah, absolutely. But for real, do go over to our page and do hit the event and do say, I'm bringing, whatever dessert, cake, something. So somebody doesn't bring the exact same thing. I mean, and we do, like Joe said, have a head count of what's up and how many people to expect. It'll be really cool. Would really appreciate that.
So guys, remember, it only gets stranger from here.
Oh God. Yeah.
So hang on tight.
And I know it's hard to take anyone serious who does the crap that we do, but you know what? If we didn't do the crazy crap, we'd probably lose our minds or be so egotistical at this point that it would be, like talking to some of those old researchers from, the early days of the whole field. That's not us. So it kind of helps to laugh every now and again.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a kind of serious subject, right?
A very serious subject, and everything that goes on can get very heavy. And if you don't break that with something from time to time, you're doing yourself and everyone around you a little bit of a disservice.
What's crazy is sometimes something breaks that for you.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
That's absolutely right. You never know when you're going to get pulled out in the field to go play.
That's right.
So remember, next week, Paranormal Horizons on Wednesday, the day after, Beyond the Horizon with us and Heather Mosier. Going to be a great time. You don't want to miss that episode. We're going to be
friends.
We're going to be going over what happened in the episode. She's going to be asking us her questions, as well as talking with you guys and taking questions from you guys about small town monsters, etc. So we definitely want you to be hanging out with us here next week. But also, don't forget, again, I'm going to say it again, Wednesday night. And if you're a squad member, you get it Monday. Let us know what you think before if you're a squad member. But Wednesday night, it's going normally around 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's normally about 6.
Yep. Jump in there. We're going to be in the chat hanging out.
We'll be in there.
We'll be there talking. We'll be there having a good time. And then Thursday at 8, Wild and Weird Radio Live Beyond the Horizon edition. You're going to want to be in that room. 100%.
Weapons free, baby. Weapons free. That's all I can say. There will be talk.
Yep. So till next time, stay wild and weird, everybody. And remember, I feel this like there's something watching me. Does anybody else feel that?
I always feel like someone's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream?
Well, I smell lawsuits. Stay wild and weird, everybody.